Grand afternoon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with Michigan. Okay. Remember, if you don't read anything into it, and if you don't leave anything out, if you pay very close attention to the first 5 lines, and at 5, it's going to play a real important role. But I'm going to show you something. Even right now, what does it say to do on all of my predictions? They're not just predictions. These are the golden rule for investing. I don't gamble. I wouldn't gamble with your money. I'm damn sure not going to gamble with my money. So here's how we do this. Look, to win, focus on my top 5 3 digits, which I promise. The first 2 big money patterns, the fire is a big money pattern, and the triple dollar sign, that's a big money pattern. Now, if you're paying close attention, ladies and gentlemen, I said that these big money patterns will, not maybe, not might, or I think. Y'all should know by now, I don't do that shit. So, look at this right here. Again, between the dates 12/15 and 12/23, this number was delivered on 12/19. I promised the fire would manifest straight. I'm going to move right along, ladies and gentlemen, because I know at 12:30 I'll be able to get started on Georgia. 7719. Ladies and gentlemen, this was dropped on December the 19th. Ladies and gentlemen, I guaranteed, look, if you focus, this is what you got to do to win. This is a prerequisite. When people email me at dynamicpredictions.onrender.com and dynamicallydriven@gmail.com, I always tell them, you have to let me know that you know what to do. Okay? It's as simple as that. If you don't know what to do, you can always go back and watch some of my YouTube videos. I got people who will go back and watch 2 or 3 of them and start winning just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, again, as you can see, I told you to win, what you must do is focus on the top 4 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that right there? That's part of the top 5. Now watch this right here. I also said that if you focus on those top 4 digits, guess what? They will manifest between the dates 12/15 and 12/23. Look at this right here. I also guarantee the number 3 and the number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the number 4 big money pattern. And as you can see, the number 4 big money pattern drops. Ladies and gentlemen, 195. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the only big money pattern on fire, it's going to manifest. There it is. Between the dates 12/15 and 12/23. I said it would drop. Look at that right there. 12/19. Ladies and gentlemen, you got your 659. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 motherfucking big money pattern. You cannot beat the number 1 position. If you can do number 1 and fire, or number 1 and the number 2, or number 1 and the first best alternate, either or on a 3-digit or the 4-digit. Remember, these are stocks and bonds. Stocks are my 3 digits. Bonds are my 4 digits. My shares are the 5 digits. Now, if you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, I promise, the number 1 big money pattern will drop. Ladies and gentlemen, you have your 9767. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the black sheep. When I call a black sheep just so happens to be a number that I see from the future, that I know that not very many people will be making wagers on that particular combination. I know these things. I give them to you. So again, black sheep, you're an underdog, but guess what? We know. So when you see this happening, and you know that I said it's going to happen between 12/16 and 12/24, I'm like your lottery meteorologist. I'm going to let you know what type of weather you're going to have when it comes to the numbers based on the energy, frequency, and vibration of these combinations. And I'm telling you, look, every single day, look at that, 614 dropped on 12/19, 614, I promise to manifest between the dates 12/13 and 12/21. Straight! Who's listening? If I see hearts, I know people listening. I don't see hearts, I don't think people are listening, and I close up shop. Ladies and gentlemen, 824 dropped on December 19th. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 motherfucking big money pattern. I tell you, even though I give you about 10 or less numbers, if you just do the number 1, you'll be happy. You see that right there? I told you, if you invest between the dates 12/17 and 12/25, look at that right there. Straight, ladies and gentlemen. That's straight. You can't beat that. Ladies and gentlemen, 537. Ladies and gentlemen, I triple dollar sign because I promise I could make that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I put it in writing. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's your triple dollar sign, promise, triple dollar sign to manifest between the dates 12/14 and 12/22, Georgia. I appreciate the love. I really do. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. 5483. Ladies and gentlemen, only motherfucking big money pattern on fire. You see it for yourself. Look at that. I even gave it 6 stars. Normally, I'm giving them 3 or 4. I gave it 6 motherfucking stars. I put it on fire. I told you, a 5-year-old can pick out fire. Right there. Between the dates 12/14 and 12/22. Ladies and gentlemen, every now and then I like to show off a little bit, and I told you that I can guarantee that these big money patterns will do a thing for you. So as you can see, that right here is a backup plan. Go back. Let's go back. Ladies and gentlemen, on 12/13, you see that for yourself. On 12/13, I told you on 12/19 this was going to happen, and I promise my only motherfucking big money pattern on fire would do what I desire it to do. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? I don't even practice this. This not my forte. It's not. It really isn't. But again, when I tell you that these numbers are not telling me lies and you don't believe me, shame on you. I'm giving it to you in writing. I promise you will see this shit happen. Check it out. Let's go here. 2, 6, 4, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Number 1 motherfucking big money pattern. I said you would see it on 12/19. Woo! That's hot right there. That's hot right there. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see 1365. Number 1 motherfucking big money pattern. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling you any lies. This is why they don't like me on these platforms. I'm telling you the truth, and the truth motherfucking hurts. I prove it every single day. How can he do this with the number 1 number? Energy, frequency, and vibration will never tell me a lie. I'm telling you the truth. So, you see it right there for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, you got 4460. Ladies and gentlemen, your number 1 motherfucking big money pattern. I don't care how you slice it, how you dice it. Guess what? This is what I do. Energy, frequency, and vibration. I tell you no lies. You see it in writing. I said on 12/19, my number 1 motherfucking big money pattern would manifest, and I put it in writing, and I said, in most cases, I can make it happen today. I did make it happen that day. But y'all not listening to me though. Ladies and gentlemen, you got your 4847 guaranteed if you follow my winning instructions. What is the winning instructions? I'll tell you. Look, to win, focus on my top 4 digits. What do we go with? 1, 2, 3. That's the number 3 big money pattern. You see it for yourself. I told you between the dates 12/12 and 12/20. This number was pulled on 12/19. Still on 12/19, 016. I triple dollar signed the big money pattern. I promised you that I could make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, same motherfucking day. You didn't even have to wait. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Oh, we got your 144. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the only motherfucking big money pattern on fire will always come through. You can see it for yourself. And I tell you, this is what I mean when a 5-year-old can pick out fire. Ladies and gentlemen, every now and then, I'll give you some confirmation. There you have it. 144 straight. Said you would see it between the dates 12/14 and 12/22. Who's listening? Ladies and gentlemen, 1216. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see, I guarantee, if you follow my winning instructions, which are to focus on my top 4 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, boom. I tell you the dates that you need to invest in it, 12/17 to 12/25. You can see it for yourself. My numbers don't lie. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to show off every now and then again. As you can see, 1216 straight. Black sheep will not let me down. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back and take a look at this. 1216. This is for December the 20th. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I give confirmation every single time to back up my work. I'm giving you the same big money pattern. Why? Because my numbers do not lie. I not do no flip, no mirror. I not do no rundown. Why? Numbers run right to me. So I prove it to you in writing by promising you that my shit works. 651, December the 20th, number 1 motherfucking big money pattern. Woo! Y'all see it for yourself. Said it would drop between 12/15 and 12/24. Ladies and gentlemen, you have, what is that? 689. Ladies and gentlemen, guaranteed to manifest in 5 motherfucking hours. You see it for yourself. It don't happen like this any place else but right here with me. You see it for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, you got that 689. Ladies and gentlemen, I triple dollar sign my big money pattern to manifest. And I tell you that, guess what? In most cases, I don't practice this, but I can make it happen. Over and over and over again, I am giving you the same big money patterns. This one here, another one, 5 hours. You see it for yourself. I can make it happen the same day. Ladies and gentlemen, 803, ladies and gentlemen, I triple dollar signed it. 15 hours. You see that right there? You see my timing. You see my timing. You see the timing is impeccable. I give you the dates and I tell you it's going to happen. 711. Only motherfucking big money pattern on fire. Boom, boom, boom. I tell you, 12:15 to 12:23. If you following my winning instructions, the fire, a 5-year-old can pick it out. Ladies and gentlemen, 6800. Big money pattern on time. It is a black sheep, black sheep. You see it for yourself. 12:16 to 12:24. I said it will manifest. I guarantee it. Ladies and gentlemen, you got your, what is that, 6976. Again and again and again and again. 6679. I said it would manifest 12:16 to 12:24. Black sheep will not let me down. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to show off every now and then again, as you can see, 2 times. And on this particular one right here, 12:19, I gave you confirmation that you would see it very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, 231. Ladies and gentlemen, I promised 231 would manifest straight between the dates 12:13 and 12:21. Ladies and gentlemen, 8 motherfucking hours before it debuted, I knew that I could guarantee it would show up and show out same day. That's confirmation. Ladies and gentlemen, 136. Look at that 136. Promise to manifest straight. Triple dollar signed it. Said, hey, look, 12:17 to 12:25. You would see this number do its thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have your 8230. 17 motherfucking hours. I promise. Look at that. Right there. Boom, boom, boom. 12:19 to 12:27. Y'all see it for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, 500. Ladies and gentlemen, 500. Straight same day. You're not listening to me, though. Ladies and gentlemen, 1890. There it is. Promise. If you do not read anything into it, do not leave anything out. Guess what? As you begin to read my prediction, you are actually absorbing a portal. I'm telling you the truth. When you read it and receive it, you have walked into a time machine. Now, what you do from that point is up to you. You see it for yourself. To win, you focus on my top 5 4 digits. Wait a minute. I promise the first 2. 1, 2, right there. You see it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Right there is perfection. I like to show off every now and then again. I can guarantee these numbers and tell you exactly what position it's going to drop in. That's confirmation right there. Ladies and gentlemen, is at 9328, 9328. Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee my number 4 big money pattern, you can see it for yourself. On 12/15, I walked into the future, brought this sacred information back, told you, promised you that you would see these things happen. But y'all not listening. Ladies and gentlemen, what is that? 618. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise the number 1 motherfucking big money pattern will do the trick. You can just forget all other big money patterns and just roll with number 1. As you begin to build a bankroll, you can roll with the fire, or you can add the number 2, where I'm showing you over and over and over again that these are the ones that you want to rock with. Look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Manifest straight between the dates. Look at that same day. That's 12/20. Ladies and gentlemen, 166. Ladies and gentlemen, triple dollar signed it. I promise my very last number you see, I can make it manifest first. Straight! You see it for yourself. I put it in writing. Ladies and gentlemen, 7593. Ladies. Wow, wait, they shut me down, ladies and gentlemen. I told you this shit too strong for them. When you get this strong, and I apologize that I make this look so easy, because it's not. It's not easy at all. But, hey, you see, y'all saw they shut me down just like it wasn't shit. Man, dirty motherfuckers. All because I'm right. But guess what? Look, let's finish up. I apologize for munching on y'all right now. I gotta build up my energy levels because a lot of times I'm remote viewing myself and I have to tell myself, hey, look, man, if you don't do something about your current situation, you're going to go back into the astral fields. So, again, you can see it in writing. To win, what do you have to do? Focus on my top 5, which I promised the first 2. 1, 2, boom, 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 boom. Ladies and gentlemen, I make this look very easy. I'm telling you, when I ask the universe to give me what's going to happen, they give it to me, but they don't tell me what numbers to put in number 1 and number 2. They don't tell me what numbers to put on fire. They told me, look, you already have the gift. Okay? So we give you the numbers. Don't expect for us to tell you where to put them. You put them motherfucking numbers in the number 1, number 2, put them on fire and put some triple dollar signs on it. They'll figure that shit out. A 5-year-old can figure it out. They should be able to figure that shit out. So that's what I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, 8499. Look at this right here. In writing on 12/18. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you, you will see guaranteed 1, 2, 3. I said it would manifest. The number 3 in Ohio. Look at this. I show off every now and again. I can guarantee a black sheep will show up and show out on 12/16. I told you I saw this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you got 940. Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you see that. I put it in writing. I guarantee that if you manifested this number, look at this. I'm telling you, you're going to manifest these numbers. You're going to manifest these numbers. I've already seen them manifest. Now it's up to you to manifest. Okay? We're master manifestors together here on this plane of existence. I told you. I'm like the genie out the bottle. 115. 115. Only motherfucking big money pattern on fire. I put it in writing. Look at that. I told you you would see it by 12/20. Guess what? I met my motherfucking deadline. If you just believe, guess what? You're going to receive this prosperity. And I'm not talking no bullshit. I'm not. 8934, 8934, only motherfucking big money pattern on fire. A 5-year-old would have picked that out. I met my motherfucking deadline again and again and again and again. I know when it's going to show up, and I know when you don't have to do anything with it anymore. I do. I prove it and put it in writing every single day. Look at this. Here I go showing off again. Boom, boom, boom. 12/19 to 12/27. Confirmation that it would drop on 12/20. You see it. So when focus on my top 5 4 digits, they will manifest 12/19 to 12/27. I also guarantee the number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big money pattern would do what it's supposed to do, and it did what it was supposed to do. And ladies and gentlemen, I do not practice this. If I practice this, I could probably do about 90 to 95% straight every single day if I practice this. But it's not worth it for me to use all my energy and get this type of information for people who just think I'm crazy. Because that's the energy that I feel. That's the energy that I feel, especially when the lottery commissioners are saying there ain't no way in the world that a motherfucker is picking every single day, every single fucking number. Ain't no way. So again, when they fall under the spell, guess what? They're fucked. Because guess what? I put it in writing every single day what the fuck I'm going to do. And I tell you that in most cases, I don't practice this shit, but I can make it happen. You know it. Ladies and gentlemen, you got your 9516. Ladies and gentlemen, I triple dollar signed it, promising you would see it between 12/19 and 12/26. It dropped on 12/20 as proof that I could manifest that big money pattern. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to show off every now and then and again. And as you can see, I said that you would see that number drop by 12/20. Yesterday was 12/20. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, 750. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 motherfucking big money pattern. It's all you have to do. I prove it every day. I said if you invested in it between 12.15 and 12.23, you would win. Ladies and gentlemen, 9-5 deuce for Georgia. Number one motherfucking big money pattern. Straight! You see it for yourself. And I said, if you invested in this between 12.19 and 12.27, remember, we don't gamble here. I go for what I know. It appears that I do know a little something about these numbers. I don't know shit about the lottery, but they cheat. That's what I know about the lottery. 9725, number one motherfucking big money pattern. I tell you, don't try to join my VIP if you cannot invest in at least the number one big money pattern. You see it for yourself. I said, I promise that big money pattern would show up, show out, and debut for you because I already saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, I walked into the future on 12/14. I told you you would see my number one motherfucking big money pattern do what it did on 12/20. And it did. And I told you that I don't practice this, but in most cases, I can make it happen. I made it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, 0117, your number one motherfucking big money pattern, straight. That's thousands and thousands and thousands of dineros. I promised you would see it. If you believed in me like I believe in you, we would get by. Y'all see it for yourself. I put it in writing that you would manifest it straight because I already saw it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 6, 7, only motherfucking number on fire, straight. I'm going to have to leave because I'm going to catch on fire just from putting this shit out here. You see it for yourself. I even met the deadline. No rundown, no flip, no mirror, just using my electromagnetic motherfucking energy and telling the number, come to me. And that's what these motherfuckers are doing. By the deadline date, you can do it too. I'm here to show you, but y'all not listening to me though. I put it in writing. On 12/11, I walked into the motherfucking future, gathered this sacred information, brought it back, told you, look, I got some numbers I'm going to put on fire. When I put a number on fire and you don't believe me, guess what? Fuck you. Because that's what you're telling me. You're saying, fuck you, fuck the fire, and I don't believe you. That's what you're telling me. That's the energy that I feel when I am not getting my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, or any of my other forms of getting paid. Because I'm telling you, if I am spending more time out of the body gathering this information, I don't have time to be on the phone or at the store putting in my wagers, my investments. So I look forward to you to help me out by the deadline date. You would be great if you would just invest in these particular big money patterns from the day that I give it to you to the day that I tell you not to mess with it no more. Y'all know what I'm telling you is the truth. This is why they keep banning me. They just shut me down a second ago. Y'all saw that shit. 198. Look at this right here. I promise my top two big money patterns will do what they're supposed to do. I said 1220. Look at that. 1217 to 1225 drops on 1220. Top two. Y'all see those quad ones? Y'all see that 007, 88.99, 1122, 1122, 1122. There's that 861, quad eights, quad sevens, quad nines, 8692, 1267, 6972, 6990, extremely hot, 8691, 7799, 6917. Look at that 3572, 1220, 1122. 1869, huge big money pattern, 0112, 0117, 1222, 1222, 1222, 1222, 1222, all states. This gives you a chance to see the future. For my 5-digit people, 863 59 977 64 68988. I really like that one. 68988. 587 70 015 78 115 78 986 44. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this right here real quick. So you don't see. So you don't see. So you don't see. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, I might be on. That was 20. 6732, I think it was. Nope, 6372 is what they dropped. 6732. And today is 12/21. Six, 7, 3, 2. So we had to pair 3-2. We had a 3-2 pair. And 6732. Let me snapshot that. Georgia. We may have that one straight. No, 6732. No, that was 2 months ago. And 6372. There we go. There we go, right there, ladies and gentlemen. Right there for yourself. Anybody noticing it is the only motherfucking big money pattern on fire? Anybody noticing that? That's all I want to make you see. It's either number one or that fire. Number one or that fire. Ladies and gentlemen, promised my only motherfucking big money pattern on fire would manifest today with proof in writing. There it is. I promise I can make this happen. Look at that. On 12/20, I told you I could do this. In most cases, I don't practice this shit, but I can make it happen today. Ain't nobody listening to me though. Georgia, right there. Put it in writing. And the only people that actually believe in me are the people that's banning me. They believe in my shit. They believe in my shit. That's for sure. Okay. And what did they drop for your 3-digit? 899. 899. 899. 899. I told y'all I do make it look easy, but look at this. The very last motherfucking number you see, I make those happen every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention. You can run those straight and be great than a motherfucker. I'm telling you. Yeah. See,
Too many of you church folk, you're limiting your ability to do what you see me doing. You keep listening to the pastor, and the pastor ain't even as smart as you. The pastor is stealing your energy, your currency, and lying to you at the same time. Yeah. So we got the triple dollar signs. I said they would manifest from 1218 to 1225. I also guaranteed that you would see this go to Georgia. I think that was Georgia, right? And let's see here. Promised my very last number you see would manifest first today, motherfucking straight at that, with proof and motherfucking writing at that. I sign a contract for your ass right there. Triple dollar sign that motherfucker too. Y'all see, I promise my shit will happen, but ain't nobody listening. Y'all just think I'm one crazy motherfucker, but that's okay. I'm gonna make it happen for myself. I'm gonna make it happen for those who believe in me. Let's see here. So we did the let's see, I'm gonna try to check out Ohio. Nope, nothing going on in Ohio right now. So I'm gonna take me a little small break because Ohio and Michigan will be dropping, and I'm gonna have to do the predictions for those. Like I said before, I gave you the prerequisite. If you can tell me the prerequisite to joining my group, guess what? By all means, go to dynamicpredictions.onrender.com. If you go with the 1 day package, I will still give you 7 free days, valued at $100 or more. Now, here's what you got to do. You got to tell me in the email, that's my email, dynamicallydriven@gmail.com. You tell me what that prerequisite is, and that's when I'm going to tell you you are, okay to go to the website and purchase. Because I don't like it when people get into my group and then the first thing they ask me is, what do I do next? If you've been watching me every single day, tell you the number one and fire, the number one and the number two and fire, the number one, fire, and the first best alternate are the first five numbers. Okay? It's that easy. It's that easy. And all you have to do is invest. As you can see, we can nail it in a few hours. I can do that. But it's best to invest. This way, you are creating some momentum with your income. When I tell you that you're going to create some momentum, you're going to have some residual income coming in. You just saw me show you, I do believe it was at least two or three straight four digits. Those are thousands, thousands, thousands. But again, if you don't believe me, then what are you doing here? So I will see everybody at the winners table, no matter what. Uh, for my VIP, I will try to. I'm going to try to do a cheat sheet for going forward for the next 7 to 8 days. But I'm not going to make any promises. But it's always going to be in the VIP chat or on the website. And right now, currently, like I said, I'm going to be doing some predictions for Michigan, Ohio, Georgia. Let's see here. Okay, real quick. 823, 823. Y'all see that for yourself. 823 dropped in Ohio, right? Okay, let's see here. 238, top four. Told you would see it. 1217 to 1225. Promised 283, 1213 to 1221. I met my deadline on that prediction. You can see it for yourself. And that's the top five. If you're paying attention and focusing on the top five, you shouldn't have a problem with my VIP. Okay, so we got the 823. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, y'all see that for yourself. Y'all see that for yourself. 1309 dropped in Ohio. 1309. You see it for yourself, right? And if I got people that ran it yesterday for 2 days, they got it. Let me see here. 1 or 3. Hmm. 319. 391. I think that's it right there. Number one made it to the deadline, ladies and gentlemen. I make this look easy, and I tell you that you don't have to learn anything. All you got to do is focus on that number one in fire. I show this every single day where I am promising that these will manifest today with proof. So, to win, this is the prerequisite. You have to focus on the top five, four digits. Uh-oh. Which I promise the first two big money patterns will manifest from 1213 to 1221. Look at that. Y'all see that? That's today. But y'all want to tell me that I'm not real. Ain't no way I'm doing this. And I show you every motherfucking day. There ain't nothing that can stop me. Except for when you shut me down. And the fact that, you know, it's not stopping me. You're only stopping your own momentum when you don't believe what I'm putting out here in front of you. Ohio. So, number one motherfucking big money pattern, it did it again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take me a break. And I got some predictions that I got to do. As you can see, I study to show myself approved to pass any state lottery exam. So that's basically what I'm doing. I have taken the attitude that I am not a gambler. I can use my supernatural gifts and I can make things happen. I prove this every single day and I don't fail. So, again, by all means, if you understand what I'm talking about and you want to become a winner and you want to sit at the winner's table and eat at the winner's table, by all means, go to the website dynamicpredictions.onrender.com. So there's people who keep asking me, do I do the other states that they don't see listed? Again, you won't get an answer because you're not reading the prediction. I mention your state before I even mention those other 7 catalyst states that actually tell me what's going to happen all around the world. So again, I'm just not trying to, come off as being rude or, belittling anybody, but I just don't have time for the that type of explaining. I don't have time to explain something that's right there, clear as day. Again, a 5-year-old can recognize and identify and pick out fire. I'm most certain that it can pick the number one big money pattern. And I'm almost certain that it wouldn't have a problem picking the triple dollar signs. That's how you get the bag. Don't read anything into it. Don't leave anything out. If you're just running them in one state, it's that much more easier to focus on your one state. So you're going to either run that top 7 or you're going to run the 14, which would be the top 7 and any states that have the fire. So If you don't see the fire, of course, you don't have to run any other combinations but the number one. But if you can, I would just strongly consider that first best alternate. Why? Because it's the first triple dollar sign. And another reason why is because it has the ability to work itself into the manifestation that I mentioned where you should be putting your focus on. So if I tell you to focus on the top five and you're not running at least the top five, shame on you. If I didn't provide the top five, and then if I didn't tell you what to focus on the top five, and then promising the first two, and the first best alternate, which is triple dollar sign, you have every indication on what's going to happen. Again, I make this look relatively easy. I make it look so easy that some people just look at it and be baffled and still won't do the number one or the number two or the fire. They'll just pick what looked good to them. Again, these are not your ordinary numbers. This is not a rundown. This is not a flip and mirror. This is energy, frequency, and vibration. With this type of information, ladies and gentlemen, you can walk through walls. With this type of information, ladies and gentlemen, you can move mountains. So, again, it's all on what you're believing. If your belief structure is fucked up, it's not going to work for you. You got, I know you believe in something. I know there's a lot of people that still fucking celebrate Christmas. Still think that there's a Santa Claus. But you won't believe when I tell you the truth in numbers. So when I tell you ain't nothing to it but to do it, don't quit it till you get it. I'm telling you the truth. And again, all you have to do is that number one. Once you build a bankroll from doing the number one, add the fire. Once that bankroll can sustain it at a triple dollar sign, and before you know it, you'll be able to run the first two. You'll be able to run the first best alternate, which is a triple dollar sign. You will be able to run the last best alternate, which is a triple dollar sign. You'll be able to run the first best double, which is always on fire. I repeat, my first best double is always on fire. And a lot of times that will be the only big money pattern on fire. That makes it a whole lot easier. So again, you run what your budget allows until your budget just grows so far out of reach that you just like, man, I don't even have to, you can put it on autopilot. Once you begin to see how easy and simple that I have made it for you, you don't have to do anything but invest. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I got to get out of here. I got some predictions I got to get to and some emails that I got to check. I love you all. Abundant prosperity in health and in wealth to all of you who believe in me and the hard work that you see me accomplishing every single day.